Hello, and welcome to our virtual open house for the Pool 12 Floodplain Forestry Habitat Rehabilitation and Enhancement Project. My name is Brian Morrell, and I work for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as a plan formulator. On behalf of the project team, I thank you for taking the time today to review this information and encourage you to provide feedback about the project using the methods I will describe later in the presentation. The purpose of this video is to provide background information about the ongoing Pool 12 Floodplain Forestry study, as well as solicit input regarding restoration opportunities within the study area. The current study is part of the larger Upper Mississippi River Restoration Program, or UMRR, which works to create a healthier, more resilient Upper Mississippi River system which can sustain the river's multiple uses. The Upper Mississippi River system is one of the nation's most unique and natural resources. The area covers the commercially navigable reaches of the adjacent floodplain of the Upper Mississippi River. This large ecosystem provides habitat to native fish and wildlife species that distribute themselves among the flowing channels, floodplain lakes, backwaters, wetlands, and floodplain forests. To date, more than 100,000 acres of river habitat have been restored as a result of the UMRR program, and continues to be a unique partnership effort by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the other federal, state, and local organization partners who make the program possible. The map shown here illustrates the Pool 12 Floodplain Forestry Study area, including approximately 26 miles of Pool 12 in the Upper Mississippi River from Lock and Dam 12 at River Mile 557 near Bellevue, Iowa, to Lock and Dam 11 at River Mile 583 in Dubuque, Iowa. This area covers portions of Dubuque and Jackson counties in Iowa, Jo Daviess County in Illinois, and Grant County in Wisconsin. The vast majority of bottomland islands and backwater lakes found in Pool 12 are federally owned and managed by the Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife and Fish Refuge as part of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's National Wildlife Refuge System. Pool 12 is host to a diverse population of species which are dependent on the floodplain forests. Resident animals such as deer, squirrels, beavers, and other small mammals rely on this habitat from everything from food and shelter to creating a safe haven for raising young. These forests are particularly important for tree roosting bat, a group of mammals that have experienced catastrophic declines in recent years. The floodplain forests of Pool 12 are also important for resident and migrating bird species such as woodpeckers, warblers, waterfowl, and raptors. Two especially beautiful species who call these forests home are the wood duck and prothonotary warbler. As of 2010, more than 4,000 acres of floodplain forest exist in Pool 12. However, factors such as flat topography, river impoundment, increased flood frequency and duration, both natural and human-induced, have decreased the amount of land-based habitat capable of supporting a diverse, sustainable forest community. Although Pool 12 still has some remaining floodplain forests, the loss of diversity, lack of natural regeneration, and increased fragmentation has been causing a decline in the forest health for years. The area has become dominated by a limited number of tree species including silver maple, eastern cottonwood, green ash, and several types of willow. Few areas where preferred species such as oak, hickory, and walnut still exist. The increased spread of invasive species such as reed canary grass, Japanese hops, and common reed, also known as Phragmites, make the problem worse. Competition from these aggressive invaders negatively affect the forest's ability to regenerate as older trees are lost and new seedlings attempt to grow. Because of the shift, the forest health and wildlife habitats found within these forests are at risk. These existing forested areas, which are also diminished by increased flooding and sedimentation, will continue to decline unless restoration efforts like the ones developed through the Upper Mississippi River Restoration Program can prevent additional loss of diversity and reestablish critical wildlife habitat. A multidisciplinary team comprised of representatives from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is actively evaluating restoration opportunities and potential features within the Pool 12 study area. To date, several habitat restoration objectives have been identified by the team. They include 1. Enhance tree species diversity, 2. improve the area's ability to support trees of varying age and size. 3. Limit growth of unfavorable vegetation by reducing gaps in the forest cover. 4. Increase the amount of native shrubs suitable to the floodplain habitat. And 5. Reduce forest loss during high water events by increasing elevation in select areas. Now that I have provided some detail about the location of the project and our goals, I'll explain a little more about how you, the public, can help. If you live in the area surrounding Pool 12, recreate in Pool 12, or just have a genuine interest in the restoration of habitat along the Mississippi River, we'd like to hear from you. Questions you might consider when providing feedback to the team could include, how do you use Pool 12? What does a floodplain forest in Pool 12 mean to you or to the local community? What would your vision of the restoration of Pool 12 floodplain forest look like? Do you have insight or perspective on the critical restoration needs within the study area? All public input is appreciated and will aid the study team in refining restoration objectives and developing restoration measures. Comments can be submitted via our online interactive mapping service at the website listed on your screen or via email to publicinvolvement@usace.army.mil. Written correspondence can also be mailed to the address shown here. Thank you for your interest in the Pool 12 Floodplain Forest Habitat Rehabilitation and Enhancement Project. We look forward to your input.